Hi, welcome to the BoshNRoll channel. I'm your host, Brian Koval. Before we get started, make sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons. If you want to see me play your favorite deck or your spicy brew on the channel, I take donation deck lists. I'll do a deck tech, play a full Magic Online League, and help tune your list. If that sounds good, check out my contact info. It's in the video description below. Now let's go play some Magic.
Welcome back to the BoshNRoll channel for another Legacy video. Today, I have a list that was submitted by Patreon subscriber Arcritos, and they have me playing 4-color Omnath. So, this is pretty clearly a deck ported backwards from Modern into Legacy. This has a lot of modern deck building sensibilities. The 4-color Omnath decks built around Wrenn and 6 are huge in that format. And of course, we don't get Wrenn and 6 anymore. We broke it. We don't get to play with those fun toys. But we do still have Omnath. We have Jace. We still have Uro. Modern doesn't have that one. So there's a little give and take here. They've replaced Wrenn and 6 with Dak Faden as, I mean, it's not obviously an apples to apples replacement, but this is card selection. It's card advantage over time. Does some cool stuff, especially with Loam and Punishing Fire, cards that you can get back from your graveyard. Deck becomes a serious engine. And filled in the rest of the deck with Legacy Magic cards. The one change that I made, the big change, is that I added 3 explorations to this deck. The deck as it was sent to me looked like a modern deck, just with Legacy cantrips in it. Like, I don't think that a 4-color deck is gonna survive in Legacy by just hitting its land drops and playing like a 3-drop on turn 3 and a 4-drop on turn 4. I just really don't think that that plan is gonna hang. So I added Exploration as a way to power out lands. We get to push a little harder with Loam. We're more likely to trigger Omnath. So that's, I think that makes the deck more Legacy. So that was the big structural change I made to the main deck. Sideboard is just a spread of all the cards you could play, which is pretty great because this is a 4-color deck, and then Surgical Extraction is black, but it's free, so this is the full 5-color sideboard. The deck submitted to me had 2 Torpor Orbs in it. I'm not sure what that is for. I mean, like, it's reasonable against Doomsday. It stops the Thassa's Oracle trigger, but there's not a whole lot of ETB triggers going on in Legacy. Really, Uro is the biggest one, and I think Torpor Orb can be kind of a dangerous proposition when your opponent just plays a 3-mana Uro and it sticks in play. So I'm not sure about Torpor Orb. I replaced it with a Hydroblast because Blood Moon is going to be a huge problem for this deck, and if we play against anything aggressive like Burn or Goblins, that's also going to be a huge problem. I also suspect that Is It Delver is going to be big. Modern Horizons 2, at the time of my recording, released yesterday on Magic Online. I've been combing the bots. The cards are not available yet. Like, I don't think there's enough in circulation for people to get their hands on them. But the Is It Delver deck with Dragon's Rage Channeler is going to be a big thing as soon as those cards are available. So pack your Hydroblast now. You're going to need them. And I added a Soul Guide Lantern just as more graveyard hate. I also turned their Stony Silence into a Null Rod, because in this 4-color deck, I don't want to count on specifically having white if I don't have to. So Null Rod is just easier to cast. It's also a little easier to remove through traditionally played cards in Legacy, but that it's not, an enchantment isn't so much better than an artifact that it's worth risking it being uncastable. So that's the deck. Let's see if casting Omnath is a thing we can get away with in Legacy. So I'm on the draw with this hand of Magic cards. I'm going to keep it because that's what hands with this deck look like. Though my normal Legacy sensibilities is play to beat Wasteland, like ignore Wasteland. And this deck does the exact opposite. Like, there are 2 Triomes in this deck. You'll never be more exposed to a Wasteland. So I'm just going to play the hand that the deck has and hope that my 23 lands plus life from the Loam are able to overpower Wastelands rather than ignore them. Looks like we're just getting entombed and it doesn't matter. Great. Yep. Oh, that was Villas. It was not Grizzlebrand. That's interesting. So, I mean, we're still dead, but it's at least interesting. Yeah, so when you reanimate Villas, you draw 8 cards immediately, because whenever you lose life, you draw that many cards. This fetch land is another draw. They should have no problem reanimating a second monster here. The one silver lining, though, if I'm not dead on the spot to some sort of Tendrils combo, is that I do have Karakas in my hand, and that's not a card that can get unmasked. So unless they produce a second monster right now, I do have Karakas that can help control this situation. They took Teferi. That's interesting. It kind of feels like either it doesn't matter or that they're committed to a longer game. They also have Grizzlebrand. No surprise there. So when they pay 7, they actually draw 14. That's gross. Their whole deck is gone now. Well, not quite, but they have more than half their deck in their hand. Yeah, this is a pretty... I mean, like, reanimating Grizzlebrand would have done the trick. Oh my god, now they literally draw their whole deck. Yeah, their deck is super cool. If they pay 7 again, they deck themselves, though, so maybe they'll mess up. We got Dark Rituals and Lotus Petals going off. I'm sure there's a Tendrils coming my way. There it is. Alright. That is not where you want to start when you're playing the 4-color lands deck. This deck is extremely fair. Like, for as many colors as it's trying to get away with, and like all the flashy spells that it plays, it is extremely and like kind of painfully fair. Right, so Return to Nature, Soul Guide Lantern, Surgical Extraction, those are all graveyard hate. And then I also have Deafening Silence and Veil of Summer that are kind of the Tin Fins hate. So there's just like 2 parts of this deck, and I think I have to respect both of them. I'm not sure if I want Null Rod, because they do have Lotus Petals, but I don't expect them to have like Lion's Eye Diamonds necessarily. I don't think they're that deep on Storming. Alright, so Punishing Fire is not going to do anything in this matchup. I do still want my cantrips. I don't think I want Swords to Plowshare. I know I don't want 4. Time to figure out how many I actually do want. Omnath is dangerous because that's a card that they could unmask and reanimate, and then they just beat me with my own Omnath. Every Legacy deck has fetch land, so it would be pretty easy for them to get multiple triggers out of this thing. So it is a blue card for my Force of Wills, though. Right, maybe fewer plows, fewer Omnath. Yeah, I think I just have to get rid of Omnath entirely. I don't love it, but it's where we are. Maybe I'll leave 1 in just for the sake of the deck. Loam seems like it's going to be too slow and not really what this game is about. So normally lands decks, like dedicated lands decks that don't need to make room for 4 colors of mana and Omnath, will have Crop Rotation, Bajuka Bog. Those are just, extra things that can be played. We don't have any of that, of course. We're going to have to draw our Karakas naturally, but we get Force of Will where they don't. So it's a little bit of a give and take. Alright, I'm off the Swords to Plowshares entirely. Actually, I think 1 plow is better than the 3rd Exploration. Because Exploration's not a card that we need like early and often. Like a traditional lands deck always wants Exploration on turn 1. We don't really need that. Alright, I'll keep this. We have Force and a sideboard card. Alright. Fuck your graveyard. Alright, so we currently have the shields up on the graveyard. We've got a Force in hand. Not for long, though. So they're going to strip the Force with Thoughtseize. And then I'll be left with Uro. And I have a plan to at least advance this game forward. It will just... I'm just really hoping the Soul Guide Lantern does what we need it to, because it's going to be slow going if it doesn't. I think I'm going to fetch a Triome in the end step, just try to get myself all set up here. Jeskai Triome, I think, does more for me, because white is a color that I'm currently not representing. They know about the Grove. Ooh, backup Force. That's nice. I still think just jamming Uro is the play. I have other blue cards, and Uro's not doing anything. in my hand. Entombing in response. Entombed for shenanigans, sure. Alright, so I ended up with Force Blue card. So I think the play here is in there. No, I'll let them dredge the shenanigans before I bomb them. Because this is the only artifact. So go ahead, destroy it. And I don't actually care about their graveyard, so I think I want to draw a card. Oh baby, time to figure out what land I need. So I have green, red, blue, white. I like Tropical Island, because I do have this Uro coming. Yeah, I think just getting more blue and green is the play. And there's nothing in their graveyard I care about, so I'm going to go into draw card mode with that instead of bombing their irrelevant graveyard. I'm 1 mana short of bringing back, or 1 escape card short of bringing back Uro. I could brainstorm into it, or I could get my play Dak Deafening Silence. Yeah, so red, blue, there's Dak, here's Deafening Silence. And I'm just going to start looting myself. Ooh, that's actually tough. If I discard a Force of Will, they're going to know I have another one. Like 100% no doubt. But yeah, this is so stacked, there's nowhere to hide. I think I want to discard Brainstorm and Force, and then have Teferi and Force with the backup, or I'll just keep a handful of forces. That makes sense to me. Once I untap, I'll be representing Hardcast Force, and if I'm plussing Dak while they're doing nothing every turn, then that's a good place for me to be. And I know they can't double spell. I know they can't Pyroblast my Force because of Deafening Silence. There's now a Grizzlebrand in the bin. They can't cast any more spells this turn. I drew another Dak, so I think I want to bring Uro up. Blue, green, green, blue. This will be my spell for the turn. Leave a land in my graveyard because I play Loam. So this Uro draw, I don't think I want to put that land into play with Uro because I'd rather have extra juice to Dak with. I don't think I've played a land this turn. I'm just reviewing the game log real quick, making sure I didn't play a land. Yeah, I just went straight into Uro. Yeah, all these lands were in play last turn. So I can discard Grove and the redundant Dak. And then I can waste them. I'm not sure how important the Wasteland actually is, but if I find Loam, that's a real strategy to end the game. Now I've got a fistful of forces. Alright, yeah, they're just entombing more stuff. The Ashen Rider, okay. Yeah, this wall of forces I hope will get the job done. I'm probably gonna Force of Will, pitching Force of Will. And then I can hardcast Force of Negation much more easily. Yeah, now it's Uro time. Maybe I'm supposed to Dak before I Uro, but no. Because if I'm trying to hit land drops, I Dak first to give myself the most looks at lands for Uro's trigger. But if I'm just trying to get my hand to be the best it can be, I draw the card with Uro first. So I already have Deafening Silence in play, and I don't think I'm going to need a Teferi this game. And I can cast Sylvan Library and still hold up Force of Negation. And Dak's ready to ultimate, so if that becomes important, it's something I can do. That's out of here. Alright, they conceded. They weren't quite dead. I guess I get to see 4 more cards. But if they get another... Okay, yeah, I was finding Surgical. That one worked out well. Stop the BS and then overpower him. So there's 1 Loam in the deck. I probably want more than that. After playing last game the way that I did, I think Omnath is somewhere I don't want to be. We've seen shenanigans out of them and Ashen Rider, and that's the hate they were, or the counter hate that we saw. I don't think anything else changes here. Yeah, this looks like a plan. In we go. Alright, this hand's kind of sketch because It doesn't interact with them getting the monster into play, but it does have Caracas if they do get it in. I am going to keep this just because the deck is so bad at doing this, at interacting, that a hand with Caracas might just be the best I can hope for. Alright, so they are unmasking me. They pitched their tendrils to do it, so Storm's gone. But again, the Caracas is not something they can interact with via unmask. Unmask versus Grief will be pretty interesting once the Modern Horizons 2 cards get in the pool. Because Grief is something that you can reanimate after you check their hand with it. So they could just get the Ashen Rider. Right, nope, they got Grizzlebrand. Oh, here's Caracas. Protect me, Caracas. And it is pretty unlikely that Caracas can win the game all by itself. Grizzlebrand's going to draw a million cards here. They're going to get a second monster into play. But hopefully it'll buy enough time. So I don't know how that could be possible. Maybe this hand was just bad and I needed to mulligan better. But again, it had a sideboard card in it, and Caracas is a card that is resistant to being Thoughtseized. They're still Thoughtseizing me. So they go to 4 life. They could have the children. Please think of the children. More Lotus Petals. Looting. That's interesting. Maybe it's not that interesting. I'm sure they just like have the Ashen Rider in their hand or whatever. Chancellor is a powerful card. I do have 1 Plow still in my deck. The children! Alright, so unless they have 2 Tendrils in their deck, I'm not sure how worried we need to be this turn. There's a good chance they have 2 Tendrils, but they did exile one of them. They pitched an Animate Dead. Exhume. Alright. Too bad I don't have an arrow in the graveyard. This is a non-legendary permanent that will be difficult for me to beat. Yeah, they're just putting their whole deck in the graveyard right now. Another Chancellor. Ooh. Yeah, so I'm dead in 2 turns, even if they somehow can't refire Grizzlebrand. I don't have a Glacial Chasm or a Tabernacle or anything that could... Tabernacle doesn't even help here, but I don't have any of these things. It's safe to say this deck is pretty soft against combo. Or at least this particular flavor of combo. Or maybe I just mulliganed poorly. All of which are on the table. Anything could be true. Just in time. Alright, we're dead. Getting dumpstered with donation decks against Black Red Reanimator is a hallmark of this channel, and I'm glad I didn't disappoint for this league. On to the next round. On the draw in round number 2. This is not a hand you can convince me to keep in basically any matchup. I'm out of there. Alright, Exploration has made an appearance. I'm going to keep this and chip Omnath. That we're not ready for him yet. This time will come. Maybe. Alright, a Once Upon the Time deck. Elves, Hogak, Maverick, Eldrazi. What are we doing here? Alright. It looks like Depths. Possibly green-white. Possibly green-black. We don't know yet. So I'm going to fetch my Savannah. And hope they don't have Wasteland. And get rid of this thing. I think that that's a better use of my turn than Exploration. If I had a white source I could play, obviously I just move in on Exploration into the white source for Plow, but that's not what happened. Loam Wasteland is a pretty good thing to have against a deck like this, though. If they can't wiggle together, they need to protect their Dark Depths now. I mean, if they can make it happen this turn all at once, they're gonna get it through. Oh, that's post. Okay, it's not even Depths. That makes me even happier about the Wasteland. They might just have to get Bajuka Bog first. Yeah, just clear that Loam because they know this game is not going to happen if I'm dredging a Loam. Okay, so I think that Exploration, then Ponder is the way forward here. They're not going to have back to basics or Blood Moon, obviously. So I think I want to get Tropical Island. Cast my Ponder. I could have just jammed Uro this turn, but I do want to get some selection going. There we go. Do not shuffle this library. Caracas, Plow. Alright, so now we're going into turn 4, and they don't have a Cloud Post yet in their Cloud Post deck. We've worked through 2 Elvish Reclaimers already. There's one more Loam in my deck. This is a matchup where I wish I had 4, but again, that becomes a different deck. I can also start doing the Uro trick, where I can evoke the front half of Uro, bounce it with Caracas before it gets sacked, and just like refire that. But now I'm thinking that I'm just not going to do that. I could do the front half of Uro, but I think that Ponder is better. I don't think I want another exploration. And by don't think, I mean I'm 100% sure I don't want another exploration. I will take this Ketria Triome. It finds the color of mana I was missing, so now I can DAC next turn. And I do want to just kind of hold up this Wasteland forever. I don't want to die to a crop rotation. Once Upon a Time. The classic. Turn 5, hardcast Once Upon a Time. Nothing else going on. Why not? That is a little scary because that starts to tax the Wasteland a little bit. I used to be able to just hold it up for Dark Depths, but now the possibility of them getting 1,000,000 mana is worrisome. My top card is still that Exploration. I can play Uro. I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do the Caracas thing with Uro and just leave Force of Will in my hand in case they have crop rotation. So draw my card. Don't put a land into play. Pick this up. I'm not sure if that's better than... Or that does leave me with blue cards for Force, so I'm just going to strip them off their Cloud Post. They're probably going to try to crop rotate that Cloud Post into a Thespian stage. This is where the Force of Will happens. And hopefully we're just sitting on... We just get to dig with Uro now. Oh, I guess I literally have Caracas in play. I don't care about Dark Depths. I'm so smart and good at this game. Figured it out in time, though. Glad I didn't waste a target, a Wasteland on the Dark Depths. I am going to continue to leave up Caracas, though. I do respect Merit Lage enough to do that. Now we're them bombing that Loam when they did it was a huge deal because now we're missing land drops. We have 2 explorations but no lands to play with them. And a game that could have been a laugher, a runaway with Life from the Loam, just is not instead. Instead, we're in a bunch of trouble. This is probably the Excavator. Yep. So now they just get to hit all their land drops forever. Cool. Alright, well, I can at least tap out of Caracas this turn because... Oh, nice. If we had a chance, this is it. So, green... white. Want to keep them off of these Cloud Posts for as long as I can. Green. Do I have another green land I can fetch and play this 3rd exploration? Let me check go to the tape. There's a basic forest, but Flooded Strand doesn't get that. Yeah, my 2 green duels are in play, so I might just have to search for a Triome or just represent something that's not in my deck for a turn or 2 here. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 mana. They can make it 6. If I can somehow play 2 Wastelands in the same turn, I would need to get a 2nd Wasteland. I don't think... Oh, maybe there's a Loam trick with Uro here. Zenith for 1. Is this another Reclaimer? Yep. Okay. So I'm going to fetch in the end step, probably getting my Triome. Just get set up while it's mostly free to do that. Dredge Loam, find a 2nd Wasteland, please. Alright, we didn't find a 2nd Wasteland. So, green, and can I tap out of green right now? Or out of Caracas right now? I think I can afford to do that. Okay, they're just taking counters off Dark Depth, slow and steady. So first land, second land. Okay, how do I cast Uro this turn? Green. All right, I have a Fistful of Triumphs. I should be able to figure this out. So, okay, if I don't want to get bogged, I probably need to ferry this thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm 1 mana short of doing that. I guess I could just bring back Uro, because they can Reclaimer, sack Bog, get Cloud Post, replay Bog with Excavator. That's what I'm playing around here, or trying to respect at least. I don't know if I'm actually playing around anything. Yeah, if I spike a land off the top with Uro, then I can play the Teferi also. I guess I could start with Teferi, and if that hits a land... Oh, no, that doesn't work, but I think it's fine. I think it's worth doing. Blue, white. Those of you who play lands and stuff more regularly are probably screaming at your camera right now at how bad I'm messing this up, and I'm sorry, but this is not normally my style. So I can Wasteland and then pick up these two with Loam. All right, here we are. This is the route I've chosen. I'm playing several lands a turn and they're not. So next turn, I get to start with the multiple Wastelands a turn, if they don't do something messed up before then. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. That certainly counts as something messed up that I was trying to avoid. Do they have a second Bog in the deck? I think that will be the difference between winning and losing this game. Alright, yeah, Vesuva copying Bog does the same thing, so... Alright, yeah, we just lost. It was a good fight. Thought we were doing alright there, but that Primeval Titan, which I'm pretty sure had to come off the top because they would have jammed it last turn if they had it. Ooh. If there is a plan, it's this. Alright, so how do I cast this card? Green, red, blue, white. Alright, Swords to Plowshares. That plays. First land, gain 4 life. Second land, I think there is some fetchable lands left, yeah. Get a zillion mana. What is the... Alright. Deals 4 damage to an opponent and each planeswalker you don't control. Alright, they don't have any planeswalkers, but I do get to deal 4 to them. Allow this. And Wasteland doesn't help much anymore because they can replay the Eye of Ugin from the graveyard, and they have 1, 2, 3, 4. I guess I can at least cost them some time. So can I replay Omnath right now and draw a card? I have blue-red floating, white, green. Yeah, cool. Yeah, ETB draw a card. That's what I want to do. Green, white. Okay, that was a pretty cool turn. I'm not sure if it matters because they did just search up Eye of Ugin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They have exactly enough mana to activate it. I'm out of Loams, right? Pretty sure that's true. Ooh. Well, Jace the Mind Sculptor is certainly a magic card. So, blue, colorless, blue, effectively colorless. Let's see what we can do with this. Put back these two. First land gains 4 life. There is a basic island left in the deck I can search for, and a basic forest. Brainstorm, let's go. Put back these two. Dak Faden I don't think is going to help me here. I can rebuy the Omnath and try again. Yeah, we're definitely just treading water and losing, but this has been fun while it lasted. All right. That was some fireworks. Unfortunately, we're playing against Eldrazi Post, who just activated Eye of Ugin. I don't think they can Emrakul this turn, but Ulamog will do enough. Here comes the Ulamog, exiling Omnath and Jace probably. On the stack, choosing their targets. Omnath and Jace are out of here. Yeah, this is just the power of Legacy. Like, this thing that I'm doing here would beat most fair decks, but instead we're just getting completely obliterated by Post and Reanimator. Ooh. Let's do it. So, do I want a DAC? Is that even important? I think there's only 2 Wastelands in the deck with the 2 Loams. Yeah, that's like a small package. It's not the whole plan. So, that's not on the table here. But I can make a bunch of Zombos, I suppose. Do I even want to show them DAC? Does any of this matter? None of it matters. I probably didn't want to show them Field of the Dead either. It's not like they're at 6. Yeah, I'm just dead. I can give up. Now that I've shown them extra cards they didn't need to see. That Omnath was exciting, though. If they weren't killing me with Eldrazi, that would have been really great. So what is actually good here? I don't have much of a sideboard for this matchup. Like, I could bring in Surgicals. So, like, if I Wasteland or otherwise remove one of their posts, I can get rid of it forever. Like, the Ramming Up Excavator is what won that game for them. Or, like, so Fire Spout can kill some of their creatures. Like, as long as Reclaimer it hasn't grown yet, Punishing Fire doesn't interact with their deck at all. Or I just said Reclaimer's important, and it does kill the small side of Reclaimer. So maybe I do need to respect that. Maybe Soul Guide Lantern is better than Extraction, because that can shrink the Reclaimers to a place where I can kill them. Force of Negation I don't think is great. Dak Faden is probably medium. Uro's great. Loam's great. I like Library. I like Jace. I do like the Force of Wills. Gotta make 2 cuts here. It could be an Exploration, but this is a matchup where the Exploration is pretty important. I could cut a Force of Will and just try to play on the Wasteland axis. Maybe I don't need both Fire Spouts. I do have 6 removal spells aside from them, plus the Teferis and Forces. So, alright, this is what I'm doing. Alright, I have Exploration in the opener again. That's one of the more important cards. And I can actually double spell off it, unlike last game. So I'm gonna use Grove to cast Exploration, then Island Ponder, and I have a turn 2 Jace if I hit a land drop. Like, if my Ponder finds a 4th land, this is turn 2 Jace. This is pretty powerful stuff. What do we got here? Okay, that's great. So I think I just want to put Brainstorm in my hand in case I need to force something this turn. And then I can still hit my 2 land drops and cast Jace. Some people play Merit Lage on turn 2 with their Exploration. I cast Jace the Mind Sculptor. That's just my style. I can safely say that while I wouldn't have built this deck myself, I definitely appreciate what it's up to here. So I have that Fire Spout floating, which is why I didn't force the Reclaimer here. My plan is to bounce Reclaimer and then Fire Spout it next turn, and then get my Jace on. And the plan is lining up nicely here. And this turn 2 Jace, hopefully we'll be able to bury them. Like, Jace is such a good card, but Cloud Post is built to overpower and embarrass blue decks. Let's just see if that is what happens. Please play 2 Reclaimers. Pithing Needle, oh no. That I will force. That one's too good. Right, now the Brainstorms get going. Yes. I guess I can hide the Wasteland for a minute. I think I want to save the Plow too, because this Fire Spout already does the same thing with comparable mana efficiency. Right, so just 3 damage to non-flying creatures. Play my Triome. Let's go. I have a Wasteland lurking. So that was a smart play. They played Thespian Stage and immediately made it a basic forest, so I can't destroy it. Life from the Loam. So I can put back Plow and Loam, I think. Or do I? Yeah, I think just having Brainstorm in my hand makes some sense. And it's time to float this Wasteland in play and make sure I don't die to Dark Depths right now. A cool play that is available to me is I could Wasteland my own Triome and then Loam them both back, and then I have the Triome in my hand for cycling purposes. Not sure if I'm ready to make that play, but it is a sweet one that exists. Plow and I think Loam can take a break. I could also just cast Loam. I actually think that I want to... Is it time for the Triome play? So if I put these two back, I still have both my land drops, so I think that's fine to do. Alright, I'm going to waste that, then loam them both back. Alright, what blowout did they feed me here? Force of Vigor. Do I care about that? Not compared to like a crop rotation or something similar. Alright, Loam's online. I'm holding up Force of Will, let's do the thing. Top of my deck is Plow and Surgical, so I'm pretty comfortable loaming past those. They've done a good job playing on basic forest so far, but at some point they're gonna run out of them. That's cool. They made it a copy of a Thespian Stage that's a copy of a forest. Right. 2 Plows and a Surgical milled there. This Jace finds a fetch land. Alright, good. We're in business. So I can put back Force or Brainstorm and Loam. The Uro's going to draw one of these cards. So I'm going to put back Force and Loam in that order. And then I'm going to Uro. Blue, green. This draws the Loam, plays that. And fetch. Got Trop. And a Loam back these 2 lands. Still holding up Force. Still holding up Wasteland. I'm just worried about them going like 7 basic lands, Eye of Ugin. So I guess even that doesn't really beat what I'm doing right now. I get to bring back Uro next turn. Jace is still chugging. This is what we trained for. Get you out of there. And Force of Will in your lands deck is nice. Do I want to Dredge Loam? I don't think that I do. No. I guess probably did, like 100%. I'm just like, nah, don't need that one. It's just the whole plan. Alright, so I can Wasteland them, bring back Uro. I can bring back Uro first. Right, I should probably Jace first. So draw 1, draw 2, draw 3, and then I can use Jace to, or use Loam to get through these cards. I put these 2 back. Loam will pick them up. Blue, green, blue, green. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's Uro. Uro is gonna Loam. Put in my Misty. Waste you. Fetch. Get Forest. I think Ketria Triome, just being a Triome in my deck, is more valuable than having more colors in play right now. Still have a land drop. That's busted. Alright. I'm not sure I played that turn optimally. In fact, I'm sure I didn't, but navigated it. Did some cool things all the same. I'm going to have to watch out for my clock, though. If we go to a game 3, I have not been operating particularly smoothly here. Crop rotation. Zapping me with the Bog. I mean, that's fine. It gets rid of a Loam, which is a big deal, but it's done a lot already. The Wasteland is still in play. There's a lot going on to like here. Oh, especially that. So I was gonna start plussing with Jace, but now I just want to cast a million spells. Put Triome back in the deck. Is there a fetchable land left? There's the other Triome still in the deck. But without Loam, it's not as good. Okay, so I guess I'm redrawing one of those. Blue, green, red, white. Bang. Gain. Fetch this Triome I just shuffled away. Mana. Teferi. I don't think bouncing anything matters right now, so I'm gonna go to sorcery mode. Waste the Maze of Ith so I can start pushing damage. And they can't crop rotate because I have Teferi. Wasteland. Surprise. Take 4. This is nice. Yeah, you can sign me up for more of this. Red, blue, then loot myself. Don't need these fetch lands anymore. Right, so they're in some trouble here. The mono basic lands plan turns out here on turn 8 that didn't quite get them where they needed to go. Zenith for 3, sure. So that's probably the Ramanep Excavator. Unless they have secret tech that I don't know about. Whatever it is, I have the plow. Yep. Keep them excavated. Gain 1 life, you got it. Ooh, crop rotation. That's strong. Can't counter it right now. Okay, Caracas. All of my creatures are legends. That's true. Ooh. They just fed the beast. Put Uro back in my hand. Okay, so Brainstorm. Put back these Punishing Fires, I guess. Deck myself, discard the Punishing Fires. First land drop. I gain 4. Uro. Second land drop, I make 1,000,000 mana. I don't think I need to go face for 4 this turn. Uro dies. Swords to Plowshares this. They gained life. Yeah, let's buy him back. Yes, yes. Uro, blue, green. Blue, green. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Did just exile a Wasteland, which I might regret. But I hope not. Alright, so there's a bunch of things that have occurred. I don't know how much of it is important, but that was an exciting turn all the same. And plus Teferi, Wasteland the Caracas. Ugh, that was wild. Got a Vesuva, gonna gain some life. Oh, that was clever. Gain 3 life, you got it. Pretty sure I'm still representing lethal here. Oh yeah, definitely with the Punishing Fires. So, attack for 10 and then fire you. Yep, bang. And you're fired. Alright, turn 2 Jace, won a game. Good, I think I'd have to retire if it didn't. So, did I see anything that makes me want to change my sideboard plan? I think I actually want all of the Force of Wills available to me because those were pretty clutch moments where, like when having the Force for the Primeval Titan and then like Crop Rotation are the kind of cards that let them get tricky. So I think I do want all my Forces available, and I think the Surgical plan might be a little goofy. But I do still like the Soul Guide Lantern to shrink the Reclaimers back down. In we go. I got like 6 minutes to win this game, by the way. Keep, I guess. I have a Force, Green Source, Exploration. Ooh, Cavern of Souls. That card's in your deck. Well, at least it's on Elf, and I do have the Swords to Plowshares. Oh my god, drew an untapped Green Source, so I get to explore. I want Tropical Island, Exploration, Plow. Alright, 5 minutes on the clock. Let's make it happen. Pithing Needle, sure. That's going to name Wasteland, I think. I don't want to spend a Force on that. Not with Uro sitting in my hand. If I draw an untapped land, I'm going to Uro. If I don't, I'm going to library. Alright, whatever. That did its job. So did this. Alright, Uro's in the bin. I've explored twice. Hashtag 2 explorers. Brainstorm. Put back. Field. And Dak, probably. I mean, field is a way I can win this game, so I'm not necessarily going to shuffle off this brainstorm. It'll depend on what they show me. I guess I'll fetch in response to that. I don't want it just hung out there. Do they name Jace, or do they double up on Wasteland here? Jace, alright. I'm probably paying 8, basically no matter what this is. Alright, just 4. That was exactly the spread that made me not want to pay 8. Island, Uro, blue, green, green, blue. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's go. This would be a great time to find that Field of the Dead. I do have Force of Will for a crop rotation, and Aura a Primeval Titan, and Uro is beating down here. And I'm drawing 3 cards a turn, which is always nice to be. Zenith for 1, that's fine. I have the Fire Spout, which is a sorcery. Yes, pay 4, keep them all. No fear. Red, Spout, Uro, get in. I probably wanted to put Savannah in the deck and brainstorm it away. But I'm playing fast here, just trying to get the game over with. Yes. Pay 4. Recklessly paying life here. I have no rec. It's gone. Second main. This is a good time to brainstorm. Put back Loam and the backup Uro. I think there's lands left to fetch. Alright, there's exactly 1 land left to fetch. Ponder. Shuffle that. Alright, found a wasteland, not that it matters. Right, I'm just holding up Force of Will now and playing to my clock. You can have that. Yeah, the Turbo Uro option of just put that card into play on turn 4 and go to town certainly does exist. I think I will brainstorm in the end step here. I do have the fetch land. Alright, these Jaces are not what I want. Nothing left to fetch, that's fine. Be careful not to misclick myself out of this game by paying top, attack. I probably should have pondered looking for Omnath before I did any of this, because that can find the extra damage to win the game. Plow, exploration, this is a shuffle. Jace, I already got rid of you once. Stop showing up here. Oh, there you are. Can I get 3 lands into play, though? This would be the second, and then I can Loam, but that doesn't do what I need it to. Alright, just hit that. Then I can try to Omnath next turn. Yeah, I think I could have won this game this turn if I pondered pre-combat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They have 8 mana right now. I have Force of Will in my hand. Crop rotation. Is this something I need to fight over? Probably. You might as well, right? They have 1 card in their hand. If this was a bluff or bait, I'm gonna take it. Oh, opponent said GG's. Thanks for the content. This was a great set of games. GG's opponent. On to the next round. And on the draw, I'm keeping this hand with Force of Will, Exploration, and Uro in it. This is a great one. If I could encapsulate how this deck feels to play, this is the hand that would do it. Opponent's on 5 over there. Time to figure out if they're a busted combo deck or if they're just unlucky. Stifle me. Alright, they didn't stifle me. I will respect the Scalding Tarn, though, as a potential Wasteland deck. But not that much. Ketria Triumph's getting right in. See what we're working with. Basic Island. It's weird to just fetch in the end step like that. I mean, it's a thing. It's fine. It's not like that weird, but it is weird. But I'll play my 2 lands and then cast Uro. This is good stuff. I like this a lot. Yeah, I've been talking about how this deck basically is tailor-made to dumpster fair decks, and it looks like we're finally in a fair matchup. Someday I'll draw Loam, and I'll want these 2 explorations in play. This could also just be show and tell, and we're about to lose. Anything's possible. A brainstorm, that's good. That's not show and tell. I should probably start leaving up mana for days, if that becomes an option available to me. Alright, so I want to cast my Teferi, because I just want this card in play. It denies me the blue card. Alright, so Force Pitching Force. Alright, they have identified this as an important card in the matchup. And so Teferi denies me the blue card to pitch to my own force, but if they forced Teferi, then they would have had force for my force. So it's basically the same thing. I found a blue card. Nice. That Punishing Fire put the 6th card in the graveyard for Uro. That's what I was going for on that. Turbo Uro. Turn 4 in play. All right, and now I'm going to leave up force and the ability to pay for days. They only have 3 cards in their hand, and this is almost certainly show and tell at this point. An Ancient Tomb in an otherwise blue deck. Like, that's what they're doing. Okay, I can play Teferi, or I can just hold up double force. And I think I just hold up double force. I can hardcast one of them and pitch the other, and then still ponder if the dust settles. Yeah. Alright, so they are a show and tell deck that just mulligan to Oblivion. We'll take those. So what do we do against show and tell? I like Pyroblast, of course. I like Hydroblast also against Sneak and Show. If they're Omni Show, it's not as good, but countering Sneak Attack is a big deal. Veil of Summer could let me win a counter war. Deafening Silence also lets me win counter wars. Surgical Extraction is a thing you can do. If you're planning to survive at least one wave of show and tells, the surgical actually can remove some amount of win conditions from their deck. I'm not convinced that I want to be on that plan. Return to Nature can destroy a resolved sneak attack, which also, not sure that's where I want to be with my life, but it does exist. Punishing Fire is not for this matchup. Swords to Plowshares is not for this matchup. Exploration, I can live without. I'm going to be playing like a little tighter here. And that Exploration was great last game, but it's not a blue card, it's not an interactive spell, and if the game only lasts 2 turns, it doesn't matter that I get extra land drops. Loam might be a little sus, though Wasteland, pressuring them under Wastelands is a thing that matters to this deck. I want everything that gives me card draw or selection. So the Omnath, Jace, the Teferis, that's all good stuff. Plus they're all my blue cards for my 5 forces. I think that one of the Loams is the other cut. There's still one left if we do end up in a late game situation where I want that engine, but I need to survive the early game first. Carpet of Flowers is a possibility. Like, that could let me play my Planeswalkers in my main phase and then still leave up counterspells. So, alright, I think I convinced myself over Return to Nature on that one. Okay, this is the plan. I am on the draw with a Force of Will hand. I'm going to keep it. Doesn't do much else, but I do have it. I have 2 forces and a Brainstorm. That's what I'm looking for here. So I am not going to play my Triome. I'm going to play my Tundra. Because if they just jam with Days back up, I don't want Days to be part of this game. One of my legacy rules to live by is don't lose to Days if you don't have to. Come on, fetch a non-basic. Ooh, alright, well, here it is. I'll Force Pitching Force. Because I think that the Brainstorm is a better follow-up if these things fail. And Wasteland. Let's set them back a bit. I don't want to Brainstorm yet, I want to save it for when I can shuffle. Very cool. Passing the turn again. Love to see it. Love to see that even more. Hello. Additional interaction. In jamming a no protection show and tell makes me feel like they either just didn't expect me to have counterspells in my deck, but I'm pretty sure I cast some last game, so that doesn't explain anything. Alright, I'm going to shuffle in the Triome because I'm going to fetch it right now, and I don't think I need 2 red sources. Or I can fetch the other one if I decide I need it. But I am definitely fetching Jeskai Triome here, which is Rockrin, I think? Yes, okay. Rockrin Triome. Oh, baby. Alright, so now I can Pyroblast and make sure my Pyroblast resolves. Though none of this matters if they go for Sneak Attack. Please put Show and Tell on the stack. Uh-oh. Okay, jeez. Don't scare me like that, opponent. But what is this green land for? Do they have Veil Summer of their own? I do think it's time to get Teferi in the mix, though. And I think I want to get the Volcanic Island with this. Is that right? I have 1 red. It definitely has to be an island. So for Uro, I have blue, blue, green. And maybe it's just Tropical Island. Alright, so yeah, I want to get Teferi in. Alright, that just resolved. That's nice. So I can Ponder in their end step if they don't do anything else. I can counter a Show and Tell. I cannot counter a Sneak Attack. Yet. I could Ponder into a Force, but uh-oh. Gonna have to. Come on, Force. Uh-oh. Give me the shuffle. Uh-oh. Alright, yeah. Lost to the other half of the deck. Please be Grizzlebrand. That at least gives me a chance. Emrakul, I'm just gone. I mean, they could find Lotus Petal Emrakul and just win the game also. Alright. Yep, they powered through it. GG. Yeah, I did bring in the Hydroblast for that. They managed to outmaneuver me. That's okay. That's why we play 3. So, do I want the Return to Nature, actually? It is another thing you can do against Sneak Attack, but like that game there, I like if they put in Grizzlebrand, go to draw 7, you can destroy it in response, and then maybe at least you get another turn. And none of that is super great. It's all you're definitely more interested in just keeping it from coming into play at all. But right, I think that the Life from the Loam is a pipe dream, and I'm gonna bring in the Return to Nature, and we're just gonna play it like this. So this one does not interact, but it does have the Caracas. I'm gonna keep this. I have Exploration, I can ramp double Brainstorm, and the Caracas just chilling. Caracas does a lot of work to check Show and Tell at least. And I think I do want to get my Triome into play. It's like right now, it's pretty hard for them to turn 1 you. And if they do turn 1 me, they're gonna need like it goes Lotus Petal, Ancient Tomb, Show and Tell is their turn 1. And they would need Omniscience to go with it because I have the Caracas to put in off Show and Tell. Though I did navigate last game. By navigate, I mean lose. I did navigate last game without showing them Pyroblast. Oh, baby. Do we just do it? Or do I Brainstorm and... Yeah, I think I Brainstorm. Oh, yeah. That's messed up. Okay, so... how do I stack this? I want to waste them and cast Sylvan Library, so I guess I put Field of the Dead and Misty on top. Or Field of the Dead Brainstorm on top. Yeah, I think that makes sense. Alright, so waste you. And I am actually going to use the Misty because I still think hiding the Caracas is valuable. And I need to spread this out, but I think Tropical Island, yeah, red, white, green, blue. Yes, that does cast Omnath next turn if I desire to do that. Force Pitching Ponder, sure. And I'm very likely to just jam Omnath next turn. Alright, so land, red, white, green, blue. Oh no, don't have Red Blast. Don't do me like that. Boo. Alright, well, now Caracas has to win the game for me, but now they can see it. I am all in here. And they can take lines like show and tell putting in... Oh, Jesus. Alright, they can do that too. Don't think I'm winning this game now. Good thing I do have the... whatever that card is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Alright, so I'm going to hold on to this land. I'm representing Red Blast, I guess. And also, if I draw the Return to Nature, this is 2 zombies right away. My basic island can cast Uro if I find it. Yeah, it's Return to Nature time for sure. That's a really good Blood Moon. Most of them are really good. Alright, they're going to discard. Wasteland. I think stacking up some cards in my hand isn't particularly harmful here. Yeah, they're done. Alright, Teferi. Alright, I don't have a basic plains in the deck, so Teferi doesn't matter. Yeah, we already know that their hand is 8 spells. So I can't have a lot of faith in anything that I cast resolving. So even if I find the Return to Nature, I probably want to wait until I have Force of Will backup. Oh, this game is weird. They're just discarding Show and Tell, Sneak Attacks, Grizzlebrands. Ooh, Basic Island finds cast Dak. There are red cards in my deck, turns out. Alright, not quite at discard yet. I do want them to respect my hand of 7 cards. At least as much as they can. Alright, I mean, that's Sneak Attack mana, but they didn't cast it. That's nice. If they find blue, I can counter a spell. But I do feel like I'm just about to get sneak attacked. That Lotus Petal's terrifying. I'm sure they have a counterspell for this. Yeah. So show and tell, I guess I put in Uro and just hope for the best. And the best is drawing... Alright, so Uro's out of here. I have to draw the... If I draw the Return to Nature right now, we can play the game. Bummer. So if I sacrifice 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so I can sacrifice a bunch of permanents and still draw Return to Nature for the moon and then Caracas the Emrakul. I can take 1 hit from Emrakul, is what I'm saying. I don't think there was another answer to... Yeah. There was not a second answer to Blood Moon in my sideboard. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wait. I didn't click my basic, did I? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, I did not. Good. I need that one. Alright. These are my permanents that are gone. Return to Nature. Come on. Alright, we're dead. That was a good game. Got dumpstered by Blood Moon. That is a concern for the deck. Obviously, brought in the card I could for it. Did what I could. Wasn't enough. Onto the fourth round. On the draw in round number 4 with a exploration hand, Uro, Brainstorm. Hell yeah, keep it. Oh, we're against some sort of Chalice deck. Sure. That does blank 2 of the cards in my hand, but overall that's not super bad for me. What is bad for me is the Blood Moon that might be following it. Okay, it's Eldrazi. Probably okay. That can be hit by Punishing Fire, if I want it to be. So the choice now is to fetch a Triome, lean into Wasteland, or get basic, but I think that I should just get the Triome, because I'm going to use the Sylvan Library to dig forward anyway. Getting Omnath into play here would be a huge deal. And Uro is also a huge deal. Just, I want to get to that phase of the game quickly, and I want to be able to execute it once I'm there. Blast Zone, don't care. Endless One does seem to have an end. It's not very big. Alright, well, I can top both of these. The Chalice is doing a lot of work this game. Hopefully Uro does a comparable amount of work. To draw one of the 3 colorless lands in my deck, though, so Omnath might be delayed. Caracas is also really good. So Brainstorm, Force of Negation. I can put back 2 of these things. And I can start firing these creatures that they have over there. Like, I do have the Punishing Fire. I can also start, speaking of firing, I can just fire cards into my graveyard for Uro. Like, I could just cast this Plow. There's Teferis in the main deck that can answer Chalice. But in general, doesn't do much. Alright, well, yeah, if they want to spend a land in this situation where they're already kind of hurting for lands to destroy my library, it's cool with me, I guess. Right, so end step, I'm going to get my fire back. And I am going to move on the just load up for Brainstorm plan. Or load up for Uro. That's a magic card. Put on top. Put on top. Blue. So I probably want to plus Jace, targeting myself. And put that card on the bottom. If I Brainstorm there, Matter Reshaper just gets to kill it clean. I don't want that to happen. I would like to untap Brainstorm and then try to get this Omnath Kraken. Ooh. That Wasteland was brutal. Both because it's going to strip this Omnath, and because wasting my Triome is going to shut this game down pretty hard. I really needed Omnath to make this game happen. So Uro is still in the ban, I guess. But the Caracas is still over there. This has broken, unfortunately, in a lot of directions for me. The Eldrazi deck, I think this same board where they don't have Chalice, I'm way ahead. The same board where they don't have Caracas, I'm behind but have big outs. Oh, they didn't even take the Omnath. No respect. Alright, so put on top. Put on top. Alright, well, Omnath, get in there. I guess they don't really need to respect it because they have Caracas. So, Tropical Island, does that do what I needed to? Green, white, red, blue, yes. So, white, green, red, blue. Here's Omnath. I can bounce Thought Not Seer, draw a card, or I can just Brainstorm. I think I want to Brainstorm. But what does that do? It gives me more options for the future turns. I guess bouncing Thought Not Seer draws me a card. Alright, I'm gonna Brainstorm. Put back Exploration and Plow, I guess. Alright, so now I have to hope that I don't get crushed by a Reality Smasher. But if they cast Smasher, then they don't activate Caracas. Alright, they found Ancient Tomb, so they can Smasher and Caracas. That'll do. Yeah, alright. Yeah, all the pieces are there. Like I was saying, the same game without Caracas, I'm okay. Same game without Chalice, I'm okay. Same game without Cavern, I'm okay. But instead, I'm just dead. That's the Eldrazi deck. My main deck is, reasonably set up for this. It's not like my sideboard really improves anything, but Return to Nature is a big deal. Just clearing Chalice matters. And I really don't have a sideboard for this. Force of Negation comes out. Yeah, I need to get my Loam and stuff active. I think on the play I also win that game. If I just get to have my Exploration in play, they can still have their Chalice and play that same game. So just a lot of little things broke wrong for me there. Fire Spout can kill Mimic, some Endless Ones, and Matter Reshaper. So I guess I probably want these, even though they don't line up great against a lot of what they're doing. Force of Will is like the best card if they don't have Cavern, and the worst card if they do. So that one's always a challenge. Don't expect Dak Faden to do much for this matchup, because stealing their Chalice doesn't really do anything, unfortunately. I guess having all the forces to respect Chalice does matter. And a lot of their creatures are too big for Punishing Fire, so I'm gonna play it like this. Alright, on the play, I have this Ponder and Plow. I don't love this hand, but it's also not the worst. You know, I'll keep. You know, Wasteland is tough on this hand, Chalice is tough on this hand, but Uro is one of the best cards for the matchup. Alright, I found the land and a Sylvan Library under it, so there is a plan here. Oh, that's a good start for Fire Spout. Or even better for a Punishing Fire. Yeah, I guess the question is, do I... Like, they're likely to follow this up with Thought-Knot Seer. And I think that having... Like, there's no Taiga in the deck, so I can't do both. But I do think that Sylvan Library is going to do more work over the course of this game than just removing this Eldrazi Mimic. Okay, that's fine. Fire Spout sweeps this right up. They get to flip 2 cards off the Reshapers, but this is a pretty reasonable spot to be in. Of course, I need to find the red mana. Okay, so top and top. I did not find red mana, but what I did find is Uro for Wasteland. So Uro gets to chuck this Wasteland into play. Wasteland can take out the Eye or the Tomb. I think I want to take out the Tomb. Yeah, this has become a tough spot. Not having a Taiga turned out to be a big deal. Right, they're wasting me now. Oh, this Fire Spout. Come on, Red Source. Before it's too late. Okay. Top. And can I afford to pay for anything? I don't think so. Alright, so I'm going to Fire Spout here. Make sure red mana's in the mix. Splat. Hope that these aren't too bad. Thought-Knot Seer and Ancient Tomb. Alright, so they get to see my thoughts next turn. Unfortunate, because I do have the Plow otherwise. Smasher, okay. Smasher is not the worst. Okay, so put this on top. I cannot afford to pay life. Oh, I don't have green mana, so that makes that easy. So Wasteland, the Ancient Tomb. Is that the one that's doing the most damage to me right now? Or is it Eye of Ugin? Yeah, this is close. I mean, they do similar. They spent. Oh, they can't generate colorless mana without the Ancient Tomb, so that's a tiebreaker for me. And I can Plow the Smasher, discarding Fire, and then also rebuy Fire because they gain life from Plow. That's pretty cool. Discard this card. You gain. I get this back. It's like Smasher doesn't even have an ability. Alright, so we're tentatively stable here. Use the ability. Oh, come on, green cards. Ouch. Top. I'm trying to hide the Loam because that's the card that can actually get me out of this game. But I do need to fade a lot of draw steps here. Because any land that makes colorless is a beating. Right, I don't care about that. I literally have Punishing Fire in my hand. Face up, they've seen it. Green source, please. Alright. Top. Don't think I can Brainstorm yet. I want to see more cards. Like, if I get Brainstorm locked in this situation, we're done. But Brainstorm sees the same number of cards as Sylvan Library. So, might as well fire it in, I guess. Yuck. Alright, we are not winning this game. And if they keep breaking draw steps, alright. Party's over. Force of Will. Can't cast it. Alright. Yeah, the 5-color or 4-color mana base really punishing against the aggressive deck with Wasteland. So no surprises there. We definitely have the tools to win that match. It just didn't come together that time. It's the final round. I'm going to keep this hand. We're playing for the 2-3 pity chest. Or it's not a pity chest, the half your money back guarantee. 50 play points on the line. This hand has... I like that the Ponder is in this hand. It can cast 3 of its 5 spells. But if the Ponder finds a fetch land, then Life from the Loam becomes a real engine. The Swords to Plowshares and the ability to cast it, always nice in Legacy, where Delvers run amok. We haven't played against Delver yet this league. We're due for one. I want the Tundra now and the Triome later. Urborg. That's the color I don't play. Okay, Trinisphere. I mean, as far as like cards they could jam on the stack go, that's not the worst one. Though I definitely wish that I had stacked the Triome above that. Oh my god. Sweet vengeance. They are locked under their own Trinisphere over there. Well, now I can play the Triome. And I get to Omnath them. This is going to be a screenshot for sure. Blue, white, red, green. Yes, this does cast the card. Alright, what have we learned, opponent? I'm talking a lot of shit. They'll probably just hit their land drop and kill me here. Or they will die to my Omnath. I'm also comfortable with that reality. So, first trigger. Fetch. Get my second trigger. Get a bunch of mana. I think I probably want to brainstorm. Oh no, I don't want to brainstorm yet. Should have done that before I fetched, if I was going to do it. I'll get these back, and... Do I want to spend this mana? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I have 1 mana floating. Might as well use it. Because that gives me a second spell under 3 ball. Oh, the old YOLO hope this works. Turn 1 Trinisphere. And I bet that does beat a lot of decks, but this one has a lot of lands in it. And likes to make land drops. So this is probably curses. I guess it could be like Pox or... No, Pox wouldn't do that because Pox likes destroying lands too much. I don't know. They're up to some weird stuff. Return to Nature's coming in. Veil of Summer. I think I want Veil of Summer because if they are curses, curses target when they come into play, and you can fizzle them. So I would prefer not to be cursed. I don't think Swords to Plowshares is going to have a lot of play in this matchup. Dak Faden is probably really good. My 5 forces are going to be great. Yeah, this looks fine to me. As good as it's going to get. So, both Punishing Fires, which are among the worst cards in the deck. This is a mulligan. I'll keep this one. Yeah, let's do it. Opponent is also on 6. They've kept their 6. I think I can ship this Grove. Alright, let's see what they got for me. Chalice. Okay, sure. My poor sad exploration. But that's okay, because Sylvan Library's coming. Uh-oh. What's next? Is it the Trinisphere again? Or just literally nothing? Right. I'm gonna get the Rug Triome here. Oh no. Oh no! I got agented! This has never happened before in any game of Magic. Ouch. I guess I should have played around that. I should have known that this card... So, I played Opposition Agent a lot. I have never once stolen a card from my opponent's deck. And they just got me with it. They got me real good. Ouch. Yeah, I definitely should have been thinking about that. Just fetched on my turn like a normal person. And now I'm going to get cursed and I can't fail it. Okay. Yep. I deserve everything that just happened to me. I guess I can still rip the Disenchant and break up this Curse of Misfortunes. Alright. I'm dead. I deserve everything that just happened to me. Okay, does anything change? I think the plan stays mostly the same. Opposition Agent is a reason to keep removal in my deck. But Punishing Fire dodges Chalice in a way that's meaningful, so... Yeah, I'm still in on this same plan. just got to play better. All right, so I have a hand with 2 Brainstorms and an Uro here. I can keep this. I'm in. I guess the question now is, do I lead on a fetch land, or do I just lead on basic island? I think I'm just going to lead on basic island and pass. Then I'll dance around their opposition agent forever. Island go is the play. I'll brainstorm in response to a Chalice or Trinisphere. What did they pitch? Some land thing. A Collective Brutality. Reveals their hand and discards a card. Okay. Yeah, go ahead. They can take one of my brainstorms. I get to keep the other one. I don't think that brainstorming hiding the other brainstorm was the right line, but I mean, maybe it is. I'd buy it. Oh, yeah. Put back. I mean, I think Teferi is insane. I actually think all these cards are great. One of the explorations can go, and I guess the Tropical Island. So now I get Trop, or do I get Savannah? I get Savannah, which plays Exploration, which plays Misty, which gets Trop. I get the Trop with this one, and then Ponder. And, oh, is that a Force of Will? Don't mind if I do. Cool. That worked out well. I'm really glad their turn 1 play was Collective Brutality and not anything I care about. So, Flooded Strand can come into play. I'm going to just go for Uro. Like, I suspect that their next play is going to be the Curse, and then I can play Teferi and bounce it. Or they just have no play at all. I'm not going to play into Opposition Agent. I've learned my lesson. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is the correct number of cards to get with Uro. Destroy that, and then green, green, blue, blue. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, cool. Not going to fetch with this. I'm going to let that Opposition Agent rot in their hand. Their hand is either nothing or Opposition Agent, and there's basically like no other thing it could be. I think just sitting on Force of Will here makes some sense. Though jamming Jace also seems pretty good. Yeah, they've made it clear their hand doesn't do anything. No, you can have Leyline of the Void. I think we've won this game. I think it's a safe bet. Alright, yeah, they packed it up. We salvaged the 2-3. So, this deck, like I suspected in the beginning of the league deck tech, this plays like a modern deck in a lot of ways. The games that felt like we were playing Legacy were the ones where I had Exploration, which was the one tweak I made. So not to toot my own horn, but I'm pretty proud of identifying that aspect of the deck that was missing originally. Dak Faden did not pull its weight. Uro was great. The Omnath was fun when it popped off. I'm just not sure if it's a Legacy card. Like with Karakas running around, and it got red blasted once, and there's just a lot of, it's like smaller than Tarmogoyf, smaller than Reality Smasher. Like, I'm not sure that the juice is worth the squeeze, as they say, to play this card. But I don't think that this deck was submitted with serious tier 1 aspirations in mind. I think this was, can we make Omnath happen in Legacy? And I think we did make Omnath happen in Legacy a few times. There were some sweet Omnath turns. We did pop off, make a bunch of mana. Best friends with Uro. If I were to further iterate this deck, I think the Dax would leave. We would just do something else with that slot. Maybe another Loam and another Wasteland, or something like that, just off the top of my head. Also, I would have more disenchants in the sideboard. It might have just been the league we played stacking my opinion of that, but I think having like a Wilt, you could even main deck Wilt, just replace the deck with a Wilt. That could be cool. And that like Wilt or another Return to Nature in the board somewhere. But yeah, Blood Moon's a huge problem. Back to Basics would be a huge problem. The Pyroblast and Hydroblast do answer Back to Basics and Blood Moon respectively, and that was on my radar when I put the Hydroblast in the deck. But I think another specific disenchant would be nice. So that's what I think about this deck, and thank you Arkratos. Sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong. Arkratos. I don't know. There's a lot of ways you could do that. I assume it's inspired by the ancient Greek. I don't know. But thank you for submitting the deck. Everyone else, thanks for watching. Make sure to comment your thoughts and like and subscribe while you're here, and I'll see you for the next video.